Keystone, founded 50 years ago on the idea of inclusion of people with disability in the community, and inclusion in a full and meaningful life. Although our mission and vision have remained the same, we are continuously looking for new ways to grow, improve, and challenge ourselves. We ask the question, what can we be doing better? The Listen, Include, Respect global guidelines are an important new set of standards for ensuring people with intellectual disability are included in the work of organizations. For a service provider like Keystone, this means making sure our processes are inclusive and accessible. It means we support our employees to see themselves not as caregivers, but as advocates for people's inclusion and partners working together with the people who accept supports from our organization.
You're the first out of the box of all organizations like yours around the world to take the Listen, Include, Respect guidelines and try to figure out, are they really practical? Do they work? Does it make this work easier? Does it make it better? Do the people that I work with, self-advocates who are served by Keystone Human Services, do they think that this is a good approach? Does it make sense? And then, hopefully, there will be some leadership that we can begin to train the trainers around the world in how to use this set of guidelines. And hopefully, you will be some of those leaders. Hopefully, some of you will step forward and say, I'm really interested in doing this. We spent several years and consulted with 350 organizations around the world, Keystone Human Services among those, and talked to self-advocates and developed plans and drafted them and worked with self-advocates and kept honing it until we had what we now have, which are the guidelines that we call Listen, Include, Respect. We think these are transformative. We think the people who developed them really knew what they were talking about. But we want the process to be organic. We want it to move forward. We don't want to just set up some rules and say, okay, you have to follow these rules. God knows with Medicaid, you have enough rules already. But we want to set up guidelines and a framework that help you continually improve how you're doing with this and help us continually improve. Maybe you will come up with some insights that we're going to end up taking back to the UN and saying, yeah, here's what this is going to have to be like.
Hello everyone at Keystone. My name is Mark Mapimba. I'm the Vice President of Inclusion International. I am self-advocate from Malawi, which is a country in Southeast Africa. As we have heard, the Listen, Include, Respect guide will help organizations to work with people with intellectual disability. This is very important for us. We know through our work with self-advocates that there are many people with intellectual disability, with ability and ideas that are being ignored. We are ready to take part, but we are not supported too. Our voice are not heard. People speak for us. People make decisions on our behalf, but they are not expert on what we need or want. Self-advocates are the experts. Support is important to every single person, but for us is fundamental. We are looking forward to when organizations, government, and other institutions will take advantage of these guidelines so that they will bring inclusion into our different sectors. We are very proud that our members, Keystone, is meeting the challenge and working with us on these guidelines. I am looking forward to them making a big difference to people with intellectual disabilities and to the people who support us. We will collect your good examples and share them so others can see how they are working and being put into practice. Your example will show others how it should be done. The work we do together will have a big impact on your network.
I thought of human rights as something, maybe you do too, something that happens at the UN level. And we work, Inclusion International works at the UN level. You're part of our network. But human rights also happen in families. And they happen between direct support professionals and people with intellectual disabilities. And you help advance people's human rights, whether you know it or not. And if we really start to understand that direct support professional work is about human rights, it's about listening and including and respecting people with disabilities, I think it's going to make your job better for you. I think there are many of you who are already doing it. And I'm guessing that that's where a lot of your job satisfaction comes from.
Listening with respect are guidelines for organisations. The goal of the guidelines is to make sure people with intellectual disabilities are included in the activities and the decision-making processes of an organisation. This means that people are listened to, their ideas and experiences are recognised, they are included in all parts of work, and they are supported with respect and properly, they are treated equally, and their ideas are, like I said, listened to.
The provision of good support may be subtle, but we know its impact is profound and directly influences how we see people, both people with disabilities and those who provide the supports. The work of support professionals is so critical to reshaping the image of people impacted by disabilities, but equally important is the guidance and the education we provide to those doing that work. Approaching situations assuming competence is tough because that's not how our societies work. We are not raised in fully inclusive communities. And even in our best, most well-intentioned hearts, we are often taught that people with disabilities are those that need to be protected and taken care of. We're leaning on each other now in this partnership with Inclusion International to offer support professionals innovative resources like the Listen, Include, Respect guidelines, as well as creating spaces for shared learning with self-advocates so that support professionals can further explore what good support looks like, what good support sounds like, and to continue to build their skill set so that they are equipped to build awareness and understanding, not just around disability, but the work that they do every single day.
I think that Keystone is a great partner for this work because inclusion sits at the heart of our values. We're really committed to ensuring that we build inclusive communities and that we continue to grow and change to meet that need. Because 50 years ago, that looked like deinstitutionalization. And over the past, 10, 20 years, that looks like ensuring that we advocate with and for people with disability, ensuring that they are living as valued members within their community. But I think that the charge continues. And I think that as an agency, we are keenly aware that we have to continue to meet the need. And we are good partners because we're willing to get it wrong before we get it right. And I think that's a big deal because sometimes when we want to be the subject matter experts in things, we'll avoid trying things. But I think in all that we do at Keystone, we're committed to trying. And that might mean failing, and that's okay because we'll get up and we'll continue to try. Because that's why we do the work that we do. We're not here to be the subject matter experts. We're here to be allies on the road to listening and including and respecting.
they buy a gun. Learn from each other, because people don't believe what people with disabilities say, or second guess what we do. Just recently, we helped the DSP workers in Delaware, where I work at the embassy corner at Toronto, how to go down and talk to the government about raising rates for our DSP workers. And they really appreciate that we cared about them, but we showed them that we love them and we care about them. And we're trying to partner with them so they understand what we go through and we understand what they go through.
My hopes are that the DSPs and our self-advocates come alongside us as we are going through the process. That they are helping to guide the work with us, and they're telling us how we can improve along the way. And I hope they feel empowered to do so through this process. I also hope that it creates a culture of people wanting to speak up, wanting to make changes in their lives, in the systems that they work in the services that support them. And I also hope that they continue that empowerment and spread that to others around them. So outside of just what Keystone is doing, just the services that we provide, that the people that are involved in their lives become a part of it too, so that it organically spreads. As far as what do I think the impact will be, or the greatest impact, I think it'll be moving from the why culture to why not. So, one of the first things we learn how to ask is why. If you've had or been around a toddler, you know that that's very easy and early learn for us as we ask why. And we may get an answer, but I think where we can improve from self-advocacy, from supporting DSPs, is the moving from the once you get the answer to the why, to the second question, well, why not? Why does it have to be this way? So moving from accepting the answer to challenging the answer, and then from challenging that answer to challenging the system, to challenging the way things have always been, and challenging when you're said that, I'm sorry, we can't do that.
For 50 years now, we have worked to build a better, more inclusive world, and we remain committed to this ideal. We are proudly part of a global inclusion movement alongside advocates, leaders, and organizations around the world. We don't shy away from challenges, and we never stop thinking about what needs to be done. We recognize that support work is an essential resource for advocacy, inclusion, and the advancement of an everyday life. We believe fully that people with disability are the experts in their own life. We are partners and allies, not caretakers. Together, we are deepening our understanding of rights and responsibilities and how to learn together about how we